session. If you have anyone struggling to join the Zoom session, they can go live on our YouTube channel to watch the session live. But while we're doing that, we'd like to know where you're joining in from. Please put in the chat session your location, your school, and what you're doing. If you're in digital health space, if you're doing research, if you're into entrepreneurship, and whatever it is you're doing, please, we'd like to meet you in the chat session. Just put in your name, your university, if you're an undergraduate. Okay, let's see. We have people who are introducing themselves. Okay, so we have Zainab, second year medical student from Castina, Nigeria. Welcome, Zainab. Thank you for joining us on the call today. It's a pleasure to have you, Zainab. Let's put our introductions in the chat session. It's also a form of networking, knowing you can connect with somebody from Nigeria, you can connect with somebody from Kenya, from other countries. It's part of something we'll be learning on the call today. So please do introduce yourself as we kickstart today's session. All right, I can see Safari from Rwanda, currently studying medicine and surgery. Nice to have you, Caleb, on the call today. So you can also drop your LinkedIn profile so that we can connect with one another even beyond today's session. All right, so as we do that, I can see more people are sending in their introduction. Thank you so much. Please, let's keep that going in the chat session. Add your LinkedIn URL because this is also an opportunity to network and meet people. So as we continue doing that introduction, I will just go ahead to really introduce Africa Digital Student Network. So essentially, we all know that 60% of the entire continent, which is Africa, we have people aged below 25, right? So this makes our continent the youngest continent in the world, right? And by 2030, 42% of the world's youth would be African. That means 1 in 4 persons that you will meet in 2050 will be a young person from Africa. That's such a high number, right? And that number really shows us the potential and opportunity for our continent's growth, right? But it's only when we have empowered young people who can realize that best potential, that is only when we can really make good use of this young population that we have in Africa. So it's really important that young people are included in decision making, given appropriate opportunities to work, to innovate, and it's not just a question of inclusion or giving them a table to sit at. It's also vital for our economic growth, innovation, peace, and security. So what do we do at ADHSN, which is Africa Digital Student Network, is to really bring young people who are interested in healthcare innovation, research, and entrepreneurship in the healthcare sector to empower them with skills and knowledge that they need to leverage technology to improve the healthcare outcomes across Africa. We do this through different initiatives. We have networking events, educational initiative, webinar series, collaborative projects, which is one of which is, I'll just show us a bit of traction that we've been able to make since we started in 2023. We're currently in about 19 universities across Africa. You can see some of the countries represented here. Some of our students are also on the call. Please give a shout out if you are part of ADHSN, right? And this is some of the things we've been able to accomplish with young people in the past 10 months, right? We're not up to a year yet, right? So we've been able to host a student boot camp with about 64 young Africans. We are currently doing a research boot camp with about 50 to 40 young Africans who will start working on their research project in digital health as from this week. We also concluded our first cohort of our mentorship program yesterday. And our next boot camp will be coming up in September. You should watch out for that, which is going to be on climate change and health innovation. And we are hoping to empower 50 young people to really innovate around climate-related issues. So while we're on the call today, we're actually on the call today to learn from young people who have gone ahead to really, blaze the trials in Africa, listen to their stories and remember that each of us as young people have potential to create our own unique journey. As we know that the path to success is not a straight line, it's filled with different ups and downs and all. So through people's experiences, you don't have to repeat the same mistake, right? So it's better you learn from other people's experiences than your own. So you're able to learn, you're able to grow, and ultimately make a difference. We've brought together panelists today who have really navigated this road with resilience, passion, and determination as young people, even in school as undergraduates. They've been able to pursue global opportunities alongside their academic, and they've been able to emerge strong and more equipped to lead and innovate. Some of the stories you're going to hear today will really remind you that the world is full of possibilities, right? And it's up to you as young people to really seize these opportunities. Without further ado, let me present our speakers to us. So today we have Favor. Favor, if you're on the call, just say hello. So I know you're on the call. I know you were trying to join. So Favor is one of
So,
our ambassadors. Oh,
can you hear me?
yes, awesome, awesome. So Favor is
All
one of
right.
our ambassadors at the Africa Digital Student Network, and is currently a junior at Ashesi University in Ghana. And so far, alongside pursuing a degree in information system, he has been able to co-found a startup, a digital health startup called Canisa Health. And through this startup is helping people with non-communicable diseases, right? To leverage data to manage their the chronic conditions that they have. And based on this, I was able to really accomplish a lot by, some of the things includes getting a seed grant from Ashesi University Mastercard Foundation Fund. And I think he recently went ahead to the University of Oxford to pitch this idea. So someone we really want to listen to how he's able to do this, learn from his journey, how he's able to do this alongside his studies, right, as a young person. And next speaker would be Precious Kolawole. Hello, Precious. Are you on the call? Just say hi so I know you are here now.
Hi everyone, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah,
Good.
awesome, awesome. So Precious is somebody that really inspires me a lot, right? I've known Precious for a while and I've been following her journey back to back. And she's somebody I always mention in my discussion with young people. I'll say, you know what, go and check out Precious Kolawole, check her LinkedIn, follow her on Twitter. She's somebody you need to listen to. She's somebody whose journey is a journey of grit and resilience. There are some quotes she used to post on Twitter and WhatsApp that me myself have taken hold on, right? So Precious is currently a dev degree intern at Shopify. She's a Generation Google, Plantier Women in Tech, Candace Diversity in Tech Scholar. I know she would give us details about how she's been able to, achieve all of these things. And she went from being, an undergraduate in medical rehabilitation in a university in Nigeria to relocating to Canada to really pursue Bachelor of Computer Science. That's a lot of determination, right? And she has started her career in data science. And I think currently she's on her path to becoming a Google developer expert in machine learning. That is huge. That is not a small thing to aspire to be, right? And it's a lot of work that goes into it. So I know she will share more about her journey with us as we go along in this session. And lastly, we have Babatunde on the call. Hello, Babatunde.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Babatunde and Precious is still an undergraduate. Let me just put that right. So, the three speakers are undergraduates, but Babatunde just recently graduated from medical school last week. So, they are somebody you can still relate with, right? So, Babatunde has been, very he has been doing a lot of impactful work in the social space, especially when it comes to maternal health. So he has founded a digital health startup called My Belly, and they are working around pregnant women and supporting them along their journey. He also does a lot of design thinking, capacity building for young people, right? And he has worked on with several organizations. And I think the best thing here is that he has published about 27 papers, even as an undergraduate, in international peer-reviewed journals with interest in global health, digital health, universal health coverage and presented in many international conferences. I know we're together in YPC last year in Zambia. He was also a Diana Award winner and also one Young World Ambassador. So these are people you actually want to listen to as a young person. Okay, so I've done justice to really introduce them briefly, but I know they would share more about their journey with us. So my first question to all our panelists would be, they should share a brief overview of their journey. You know, what really sparked your interest to go into extracurricular activities? You know, when you entered on maybe your first level in school, did you ever know that you're going to get all of these things, right? So at what point, like what really sparked that interest to go extra out of school beyond the classroom, which is one of the things we want to learn from you today. So I'll start from Precious.
Okay, so if I listened properly, I'm supposed to share my journey in health innovation and what sparked my interest in the area, right?
Yes, sure.
Awesome. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Precious Kolawole. I am a student at Carleton University here in Canada, like she said. Okay, so if I'm going to like take it back in time, I started this old tech thingy in 2019, and that was like 3 years after I finished secondary school. So when I finished secondary school, I was pretty much just like doing many stuff, like sales girl and all of those things. By the way, I grew up in Nigeria, Ogun State, Abeokuta. So you see a lot of vacancies for sales girls applications. So I applied for those things. I did it for 3 years. And in 2019, my brother is a computer science student at Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. So he attended this boot camp called Data Science Nigeria. And during Data Science Nigeria bootcamp, he met this guy called Dr. Stephen Odaibu. And Dr. Stephen Odaibu was pretty much talking about his company, Retina AI, and the things they do around trying to help people with high issues, like building high equipment with technology. And this guy is like an AI engineer, he's a mathematician, and he's an ophthalmologist. So that kind of like sparked something in him and was like, oh, come on, my kid sister is trying to become a medical doctor. Actually, I've always wanted to become a medical doctor all my life. I started with Ben Carson when I read his story. I was like, okay, I want to become a neurosurgeon, you know? And myself and my friends, we all started like that. But when my brother came home and he told me the story, and I'm this kind of person, when you just need to tell me something. If I don't have the knowledge of something, fine, don't worry, Precious won't pursue it. But once I hear about it, trust me, I'm going to even go past you, like the person that introduced me to it. So when he told me about it, I read about the guy and I felt really inspired also. And then what happened after? I read the story and then I got into OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, to do zoology. They gave me zoology, not even medicine. I started with zoology. I didn't want to go, but God convinced me somehow. Then I went for zoology, and in the process, there was COVID-19. So I came back home because everybody left school. And then myself and my brother, we sat down and then we drafted this thing. We drafted my timeline, like something to follow while I study or while I learn all of these things. And we realized, okay, since it's AI and healthcare, we probably need to start with Python, data analysis, data visualization. And I remember spending 2020, the whole of 2020, trying to learn all of these skills. I also joined She Code Africa in Nigeria, where I was paired with a mentor. And all of these mentors with my brother and me just using all of those resources helped me to go from being somebody that knew nothing about tech to actually becoming an intermediate machine learning engineer. And then that was when I launched my first I won't say product, like my first project, which was around solving cancer with AI. We called it Elixir AI cancer diagnosis system. So that was kind of like the journey into AI and healthcare. Yes, into AI and healthcare. I won't want to go past that because I don't know the time we have to answer each question.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Precious. I think one of the things we're trying to also bring here is the importance of learning from other people's journey and having a plan for your tech journey, like a timeline. So you had mentioned your brother sat you down and said, okay, this is it. This is your journey. You have to do one, you have to do two, you have to do three. And I'm glad you're able to follow that to where you are, that brought you to this point in time. So let's go to Favor. Hello, Favor.
Hi, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yes, we can hear you. So I think
All
you
right.
should also tell us how you're able to get into, developing a startup while in school. What really sparked your interest in that area?
Okay. Actually, funny enough, one of the persons I read their stories was also Dr. Stephen Odaibo. I actually reached out to him on LinkedIn. Yeah, that was it's so funny, but my story started in high school. I've always grown up in a health background, and my mom is a nurse, my sister is a nurse. Um, by extension, one of our family members is also a nurse. Like they all wanted me to be a nurse. I mean, they convinced me that, oh, if you're going to be a nurse, uh, there's a very, very like big opportunity for you, to leave Nigeria, you are even a man, and you have a lot of opportunities because you are a man, and maybe you can even become a travel nurse. So that was one of the discussions I had with my mom when I was trying to apply to university. So the year I graduated to university, actually, I got into Nnamdi Azikiwe University to major in computer science. Um, the funny thing is that I've always been with computers, but I didn't really know how to code. So Nabin, the person who taught me didn't teach me how to code, or I didn't know about coding until I came to Ashesi. And coming to Ashesi, I always wanted to work on something around healthcare. If I quite remember well, I wanted to I've come to encounter people who complain about having to pay a lot of money when it comes to going for dialysis. So one of the ideas that came to my mind was, how can I redesign the kidney machine to be able to be less expensive and all that? We actually tried to do that in my first year of design thinking class, but I didn't quite get it in. So that's actually killed the idea. So I already had wanted to do something around healthcare, especially because one factor was I felt like that there's so much to do. Like I don't want to waste my talent, or I don't want to waste my time creating ideas, and no one is going to develop them. One. And two, coming from the challenges I faced with helping my dad, who actually has like a health issue like back then in 2017. So those were two things that actually sparked it. And with that, why the kidding idea didn't follow through. One of the things I kind of figured out was, if I can't do the kidney idea, I can still do any other one. So those are two things that actually sparked what I wanted to do. And yeah, maybe I can talk about the startup journey later on. Yeah.
Okay, okay, amazing. So I'm seeing like a pattern here. Precious had mentioned our brother nudging her. You've also mentioned, your family, really giving you insight about what you can do with nursing, with healthcare. So I think one thing that has stuck out for me is like your environment really has an impact on your journey as a young person. Having people show you possibilities and really nudging you, because sometimes we don't take initiative on our own until somebody really shows us that this is it, this is what you can do, and we key into that. So I'll not waste time. I would move to Babatunde now because we still have some questions to answer, and I want to really give room to everyone on the call to ask you questions. It's not for me, it's actually for the audience to ask you questions. So I have just two questions to go around. So Babatunde, share with us what really sparked your own interest in research. You have like 27 publication before you left school. That's huge. That's a lot. You've become ambassadors to, huge organizations. You've traveled to showcase your work. So tell us how you were able to start, as somebody, as a young person, as a student. Thank you.
Oh, I thank you very much, Vivian. I think for me, when it comes to research, what really sparked my interest was I had like a senior colleague then that was already in the university while I was doing my A levels. So I follow like his exploits in research. So I had it in mind that when I enter university, I will also like try to explore something similar and try to follow his steps. Although definitely, like you said, people have different patterns. We don't have similar pattern, but he was one of the people that sparked my interest and showed me like how to go about it. And I think the COVID-19 break helped me to, during the break, I was basically occupied doing one or two research projects. So that gave me a lot of time to have a good grasp of research writing as a young undergraduate. So from there, I tried to progress to incorporating it into innovation and trying to bring something new relating to digital health. And that's what I've been doing since then. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Babatunde. I think the three of you mentioned COVID-19. So I think we should give kudos to COVID-19 for really giving us the time to really go into self-development. I think for myself, COVID-19 was also a point in my life where I really delved into personal development and it yielded a lot of results, even up until this point. I hope every other person on the call made use of COVID-19 very well, as our speakers have mentioned. Okay, so my next question now. So I'll start with Babatunde. So we'll take it from the back, right? So I think this is a question that is really burning in the heart of everybody. How were you able to manage academics with all of these extracurricular activities? Because I believe doing research takes a lot of time. I know we've worked on a couple of research together, and it's very chaotic, right? So how are you able to handle all of these amazing things, traveling for conferences, starting a digital health startup, as attending classes, going for clinicals, and all of those? So what strategy did you employ to really manage all of these things together?
Okay, thank you very much for that. It's always hard to answer this question, but I think some of the things that I utilized was trying to make use of the night to work on things that are not school related to some extent. And then I also try as much as possible to attend every class activity so that I have very good understanding about what's happening in school and prioritize like when there is like few weekends or in the nights work on other things. And I think with time I got to have gain is mastery so that I was able to carry out tasks faster, so it's reduced the time I spent on extracurricular and also still trying to read for schools. And also when probably exams or major exams are coming, I try to um, limit how much I get involved in other things. But for me, I think some things that helped me was time management, trying to prioritize things. And well, I don't really have so much social life, so that also helped me to some extent. And then I also set like my targets for academic targets too was not so it was realistic for me. And then I use my nights and weekends uh, so very well for other things aside school. I don't know if that answers it, but
Yes, yes, amazing. Yes, amazing. I think you've touched on prioritizing, and I think one thing that stood out is gaining mastery, so you can be more efficient, right? So take time to learn something, so that by the time you have recurring activities around it, it's much faster for you to deliver because you already gain mastery on how to do it. I think that's really important for us to note down. So, Favor, we want to hear from you. How are you able to manage Ashesi? I know Ashesi is very intensive around entrepreneurship, innovation for young people, and also manage your own thing.
Yeah, I think to answer that, I have like three metrics. Can you hear me? Okay. I have like three metrics that I use to pursue what I want to pursue. One is I use relevance. Two, I use what can I like opportunity cost, and three, I use like commitment. So when it comes to relevance, I know school is important, but when I first came in my first year, I one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to graduate with a perfect GPA, and I had to like talk about discuss my goals with my career advisor and our academic advisor. And one of the questions or one of the things he asked me was So outside academics, who do you like? Who is Favor like? What does Favor like doing? What is it that defines you? And that was what actually sparked how I have to like revolve around these ideas of how to balance extracurricular activities and managing school. So for me, what I do or what I did or what I still do is that I have to strike out like social life. Um, so I basically like I don't spend time gisting with people. I don't spend time. I spend a lot of time in my room. I spend a lot of time like I just kind of live a triangular life. It's not advisable though, but I feel like it helps me conserve my energy more to do like to do efficient stuff. And also when it comes to Ashesi helping, yeah, Ashesi is a very, very big entrepreneurship. Like they are very, very big on entrepreneurship, which is very intensive, quite all right. Like everything here is intensive. But I try to prioritize like what am I going to gain out of it? At the end of the day. I think like an investor. What's the return on investment? So if I commit 20 hours a week, what am I going to gain out of it? So I do same for every opportunity that I do. So if I'm not getting a lot out of it, I don't pursue it at all. And if I'm not going to be committed to it, I don't pursue it at all. So that's how I tend to balance it. Yeah, I can always pick up my social life anytime. But yeah, this is how I do it.
Awesome, awesome. Something from you and Baba today, striking social life. Wow. I think something has to give, right? You have to sacrifice something at the end of the day, right? Okay, maybe that's the price you have to pay. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone. So let's ask Precious what works for her. Does she also strike out, social life? Hi, Precious.
Hi, I'm going to come from another angle. This is pretty interesting. Everybody has been actually saying no social life, no social life. I know you can't have it all. One thing has to go, right? Which is sad, which is sad. But I'm going to start this way. Oh, I believe it's okay to let go of some things, but in as much as we are letting go of one part of life, we should find ways around it, like instead of just letting it go completely. I'm gonna use my story as an example. In the COVID days, in as much as people were in the house, people were not going out, I still had my job back then and I was learning at the same time. And I remember coding at night anytime I come back from the office. I won't say office. It was just like a basic job. I will work in the night, and I remember people will look at me and be like, "Oh my God, Precious, see your high backs. Precious, look at this. Are you not getting enough sleep?" Something like that. I remember that story was what I used to win my first laptop on Twitter back then, because everybody were just like pitying your condition and everything. And when I also entered school eventually, I got my first job, and that was me working as a machine learning engineer for this financial lending as a service firm in Nigeria. And then I was a medical student. I transitioned from zoology to medical rehabilitation. It was crazy, yeah. I wasn't living like every other normal person. My friends, you see them, they hang out, they do this after school, they have events and all of those things, right? I'm not even talking about. I feel like I feel like I'm talking to people that know what they are doing, and not like anybody, like any random person in the public. Those people I'm trying to refer to, like those my friends that will go out and do things. We should know that they are doing things that are of good moral standard, like they go for events, things like that. And you just see me in my room trying to meet deadlines, and like I was even barely surviving in my medical degree. The fact that you are just like a normal, naturally bright person was what kept me through the 2 years I spent in OAU, right? And I remember coming to Shopify also to do this dev degree program. Dev degree will tell you one of the requirements of being in this program is that you must have a good work-life balance. Not like work-life balance per se. You must be somebody who knows how to manage your time, and you can get things done very fast. That was one of the questions they asked me. And I like the fact that everybody said, hey, let's go of social life, because that was the story I put for them too. I was like, okay, I've been a medical student all my life, but it's more like you pick medicine, you pick work, you pick other things like church, because I'm a church person, and then you let go of the social aspect of your life. That was the story I put for them. And luckily I got into the program. But what I'm trying to talk about right now is that there are actually ways we can walk around social life. So we are not just, it's okay to become a bookworm. It's okay to like to be a bookworm. It's okay to be focused 100%. But in as much as we are doing that, there are ways around it. And number one is going to be the aspect of mastery. Oh, that Vivian mentioned it. If you become a master of something, you get things done quickly. You don't spend your entire day trying to finish it up, right? If you have mastery on something, that's actually a way to shrink your schedule such that it can accommodate a lot of other things. Another one is time management. If you have a very efficient time management skill, it's going to help you a lot. You have all your things scheduled on your calendar. You know, at so time, I'm doing this. At this particular time of the day, I'm doing this. I'm getting this done. And you are realistic, because some people, they just put things on their to-do list and they are not realistic about the time they are going to spend. So you have to be realistic. I'm going to spend 2 hours on this, 1 hour on this. And there will still be like 2 hours for me to eat my breakfast, for me to have my lunch, for me to take a walk, for me to go to the gym. Yeah, I feel like there is a balance. There is a way we can incorporate those things. And I also make mention discipline. If you are trying to, people literally see people's profile on social media, and you be like, oh, I love this person. This person has a very amazing profile. But you know, there is a little bit of, not even a little bit, there is a macro amount of discipline that is going into that profile you are seeing on social media, right? So if you are not disciplined, trust me, it's not going to fit, and you see yourself keep complaining. And in the aspect of discipline, I'm going to mention you not procrastinating on your task, on your deliverables, right? If you are able to incorporate all of these things, you eventually realize that, okay, actually, I can still have a little bit. You won't have a very vibrant, lively social life, but you can still incorporate a little bit of it. Yeah. And I feel like that's what I've been doing. Yeah, that's my story. I used to not have social life because I was 100% focused. But now I think I have created a balance, and I can still have good social life while I'm doing all of these things at the same time. Yeah, that's it from me.
Awesome, awesome. I think something I've learned from you is that I think as you progress, things changes. The level of maybe um, living social life out of it totally would begin to change, because now you've gained mastery on your time. There's some skills you now have mastery over that won't take you as much time to reproduce things you do. So now you have more time for maybe extracurricular activities and social life and all. And I think it also it's part of my story as well. During the COVID-19, I spent a lot of time to really learn program management, project management, and all. So now when people give me tasks, I'm like, Vivian, you're so fast. I'm like, hey, do you know how many? I spent a whole year to learn this thing. So when you give me now like a piece of cake, I do it just like that, right? I think it's really important to gain mastery. It helps you over time in your recurring activities, right? And I think you also mentioned so I think something I learned from Precious, some of the statuses you usually post on Twitter, I see them. And one thing you usually say is, what price are you willing to pay for the kind of life that you want? Right. I think at a point you have to pay a certain price. But I think then your level begins to change and you're more comfortable and more convenient to accommodate extra tasks. Okay, so let's leave that and move on to asking how were you able to position yourself for these global opportunities you were able to get? Starting from Precious, you won the Google, I think, women's scholarship, right? And you also got this dev intern degree at Shopify, and also some of the amazing opportunities you've won so far. So can you tell us about it? How do you find out about them? How were you able to apply for them? Right? What specific experience from these opportunities can you share, and how have they had significant impact, you know,
Okay.
in your life and personal growth? I know it's a lot, but yeah.
Okay. I think it started from a place of hunger. me wanting more out of life. I was in school, I was doing medical rehabilitation back then. And there's this place of comfort everybody will get and be like, okay, I'm working for a company as a machine learning engineer. I'm studying a very good course in one of the nicest school like in Nigeria. I think I'm good, right? But there was a part of me that kept saying, this is not where you want to be, right? And that made me stretch myself and be outside. It started from there. And I was like, okay, I had to sit down and plan my career trajectory. Okay, after this, do I see myself, like after the medical rehabilitation degree, do I see myself going for a PhD program, or do I see myself doing masters and then becoming a machine learning engineer on the side? But the idea of that didn't sound quite nice to me. And there was a time when I wanted to get into Google for a role, and then I saw the lack. There was a big lack. I did not know mathematics at all because I was in medicine. They didn't teach us that much math. And I remember failing my entire Google application. For that pain point, I kind of just turned it to a motivation. And in the process, I wish I have mentors. And most of my mentors, they're not currently living in Nigeria. They've had like global opportunities. My mentor, I talk about her all the time, Oluwatoyin Yetunde Soni. She did a master's in Italy, and then she went to work at University of Lincoln as a researcher, a robotic engineer, also in research for a long time, right? So most of my mentors, they are people that have walked through the journey I wanted to walk through, right? So I spoke with her. I have hunger for computer science. I want to do this, right? And then she sat me down, talked to me about all of those things. And then I started from the ones she has accomplished. So this is why I will tell you to surround yourself with good people that will always motivate you. I did not know where to start, but I looked through her profile. Okay, my mentor got a scholarship. My mentor got a scholarship. My mentor worked here. She went to Italy for masters. She did this, she did that. That means there's a possibility of me being able to achieve the same thing if I follow this path. And I kind of just drafted those timeline. The first scholarship I got, Google Generation Scholarship, my mentor was a beneficiary also. Was it 2017? I saw it, I was inspired. Okay, she got it, I can also do it. And then I sat down, wrote my essay. To be very, very honest, the first essay I wrote for one of my scholarships, she read it and she was like, damn, Precious, this is nonsense. I don't want to say bullshit. This is nonsense. Nobody is going to get you into the program with what you just wrote. And then she sat down, proofread everything, and then I had to work on the feedback. Then I got into the program, into Google Generation Scholarship. So it started from me seeing a life and then trying to mold myself like her, something like that. And then the Shopify Dev Degree Program, like I said also, the place of hunger, I wanted to pursue computer science. Then I saw the program. A friend of mine introduced me to the Dev Degree Program. I saw it. I checked the application. It was very crazy, like very, very tedious, complex mathematics. And I used to not be this smart person until I started studying computer science. I was terrified at first, but after all the other rejections, because I got quite a number of rejections, they were a lot. I got a lot of rejections, but when I got those rejections, they motivated me to sit down and solve the dev degree computational questions. Then I solved them and I got into the program. So it was like a place of hunger and me trying to find people that have gone through that path. Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. And I think it's really important for young people to understand that a lot of us want to do amazing things, and you want mentors, but mentors are not going to move to you. You need to move to mentors. And what mentors see is actually your hunger, as Precious have said. If you're not hungry enough, even mentors will be motivated, right? Mentors are already occupied with their whole life and all. It's your hunger that inspires them. It's your hunger that makes them set aside a schedule to say, you know what, Precious, let's talk. I can see you are hungry. I can see you are motivated. I can see you are passionate, right? That's what is going to make sure they set time for you, because they have a lot of things they are doing. I know you today, and I know she's very, very going to be busy and all. And I know that hunger would have actually sparked interest in her giving you ample time. So this is a lesson for everyone. Please hunger should let you want more out of life. So let's hear from Favor. So you were able to go to University of Oxford to pitch your ideas. Cancer Health is there, right? So how were you able to get all of these opportunities, even as an undergraduate?
Okay, I'll first of all start by saying that some doors lead to other doors. I know maybe you want to be at maybe Google, Microsoft, one of the big companies and all that. But one thing is that you might not go there directly. Like the road to the door is not like is not straight, but one door can lead you to another. So personally for me, when I started my startup, I contemplated with people on whether we should do a boot camp or not. And one thing is that I prioritize time. Like I don't want to do something that is going to waste my time. So we almost gave up on going to the incubator, not boot camp actually. So getting into the incubator, we were able to like meet a lot of people that did guide us, did set the trajectory and everything. But prior to that, we've written because this is an idea stage. We have written a lot of grants, a lot of writing and all that. But with that, I get to understand how to write a grant and how to write proposals for conferences, how to write like how to express your idea in a very perfect, not will I say perfectly, but in a very, very clear way that people can actually buy into your vision. So that was how we get to from the incubator we get to like understand how do you look out for opportunities when you want to help your startup or when you want to help when you want to get something. And that was actually how I applied the same strategy when we are kind of looking at for where can we get grants, where can we get opportunities for sponsorships, where can we get things like opportunities that will help the company and or the startup, sorry to say. So that was how we came across like Oxford, the opportunity on Oxford. And yeah, I kind of applied the same strategy that they taught us in the incubator, and by the grace of God, we were able to get in. But one of the things I would say that actually is very, very distinguishing, or when we apply for such opportunities, is that you have to go all in. You have to go all in. I mean, it's easy. It's easy to like say this is not going to work out, or if this thing doesn't work out. I'm a Nigerian, and one of the things they know Nigerians for is they go all in. So, and we don't like hesitate when it comes to giving your best. So I kind of apply the same resilience and technique when looking for opportunities. I hunt for them and I do a lot of research when it comes to these opportunities. Like I do a lot of research, like who are the people that have gotten these opportunities that I'm trying to go for. What is the profile of some people that have been there already? Because trust me, these people that provide the opportunities, they have a criteria that you must meet, that if you don't meet it, your application automatically goes to the trash. So I look out for people that have gone before me. I look out for their pedigree actually. So if my pedigree is not reaching to that extent, I mean, I know that there is the grace of God, there is luck and all that, but you tend to if you are going to put 2 hours or 4 hours to apply to an opportunity where your pedigree is not needed, is it not better to spend those 4 hours and turn in maybe 20 applications where you know that your pedigree is actually beyond what the criteria or equivalent to the criteria that they're looking at for? Similar to job applications, I can't be applying for a senior engineer role when I'm just a junior engineer. Maybe I have to be applying to companies that are hiring trainees, companies that are that give more opportunities to interns or junior roles. So with that way, I get to maximize my chances, and I get to like learn a lot too, and also try. And finally, or two more things I have to say is that communication and writing is very important when looking for these opportunities. I didn't know how important it was until I worked with like people from international teams. Like I've worked on international teams, and I mean things that I don't necessarily put on LinkedIn and all that, but because of the criteria of the work. But one of the things I've come to realize is that most of these opportunities judge you mainly from how you write and how you communicate. Most times, I've tried to be in a team where they are looking for a developer, and they are trying like mainly like an ML guy. And one of the things they kind of tried to look out for was how do you write or how do you communicate. So, and it might seem so simple or so trivial, or it's not like important, but they place kind of a huge emphasis on that. How do you communicate? How do you write? Not necessarily the technical details of your profession. And I think finally I'll say that I also reach out to mentors too. I send a lot of I send a lot of messages to people on LinkedIn, emails. As far as I know that this is where I want to be, I ask a lot of questions, and at least maybe if the person doesn't give me the direct answer, they know someone that's going to help me. And I think out of all messages I've sent on LinkedIn, emails, at least I've gotten an 80% success rate, and then 20%. I mean, you give people that benefit of doubt that they are busy, they are not obligated to help you and all that. So, and they are willing to help you, and they are willing to like especially they are willing to help you, but they have to meet you somewhere. Yeah, I can't say I want to apply to maybe a product company, and you've not like taken a product course before, so they are less motivated to help you if they judge you by that. And I think that is the strategy I employ when looking for these opportunities.
Amazing, amazing. I really like the first point you pointed out, which is, some doors lead to other doors. That's really profound, honestly. I think it has worked for me as well, right? I attended through my mentor. That's why it's really important to have mentors that look like where you are going, considering what pressures are said and favor. You have to look for people who actually look like where you are going, right? So I have a mentor who looked exactly like what I was looking out for. His name is Dr. Simpa Dania. You can check him online. He's also into digital health, a great man in digital health in Nigeria. So I followed him so closely, like step by step. Like he literally became somebody I message almost every day, because I knew where I was going. I knew what I wanted. And because of him and because of what he was able to teach me, that was how I got my first international travel out of Nigeria. And if I would let you know that single international travel I made to South Africa in 2022 actually made me get the current contract I'm working on right now with Africa CDC, right? So if I had not been very how will I call it? If I had not had that hunger to follow Dr. Simpa, to ask him questions, and he won't see a reason why he should let me go to South Africa to represent his company, right? Because he saw my passion, he saw I was very inquisitive. I knew where I was going, I knew what I was doing. Okay, I don't know what I was doing at that time anyway, but like I knew where I was going, I knew what I wanted, and I had hunger in me. And also he noticed that, and oh, this girl, don't worry, I'll support you. So here's an opportunity to go out there and see what is going on around digital health in other countries. That single trip connected me with somebody in Africa CDC that today got me the contract I'm currently working on, even as a young person working with them, right? So it's really important that doors open doors, please, and also ensure you map, how will I call your strengths, as Favor has said, to opportunities, right? Understand your strength, understand what you're looking at for, and map that out with current opportunities that are out there. Let your mentors meet you halfway, right? You can't come to me and say you want to learn digital health. The first thing I will ask you is, how far have you gone? What courses have you taken? right? What online boot camps have you joined and all? Because you don't expect me to start from scratch for you. I think what really made the Osipa even turn attention to me, and what Favor said is really important. Some people will answer you, some people would not, but you have to be persistent. When I started reaching out to Dr. Simpa in 2020, I sent him almost 100 messages. This man did not respond to me on WhatsApp. I kept on sending him, sir, please, I have this idea. Sir, please, I have this idea. He did not answer me. But I continued. I was very persistent because I know what I want, right? I know it's the person that can actually help me, right? I had seen his profile. I had listened to him speak. I need to learn from this man. I need to know what he knows. I need to be where he is. I need to speak to people he's speaking with, right? So I sent him countless messages on WhatsApp. Then I think one thing that really now worked was when I started sending him my certificates. I would take courses on Coursera. I would go for boot camps. So I started sending him those certificates. Sir, I attended this boot camp. This is my certificate. Sir, I worked on this capstone. Even though he didn't answer me, but I think later I was like, okay, I think this guy is up to something. I think it got to a point where I'm like, okay, now you have my attention, right? Sometimes it doesn't take that long, but I think they see your persistence, they see your hunger, and they turn to you, right? So thank you so much, Favor and Precious. So we'll go to Babatunde now to ask him the same question. Then we'll open the floor for everybody on the call to ask our panelists questions. Then we'll wrap up. So Babatunde, for you, you were able to win the One Young World Ambassador. You traveled to was it I don't know the country that was there last year. And you also traveled for the Africa CDC Youth Pre-Conference. You presented your paper there, and all the numerous. I know you were in France last year as well. So how were you able to get all of these global opportunities? What were your strategies?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I think it follows similar pattern, but for me, I think well, I don't have one single person probably that I can mention, but I have a lot of people that I kind of follow them on social media and some on WhatsApp. So I follow like what they've done and I pay attention to what they are doing, especially relating to healthcare and innovation and research. So when I see that they've gotten something, I also try to watch out for similar stuff. Although like personally, I might not feel like that's like my goal, like just to get the travel scholarship you get, because of course I got rejections most of the time. But even for the One Young World, I applied 2020, 2021 before I got it in 2022. But like I got to know some of these things from people that I know. For example, now just on this call, I've tried to search Favor, try to search Precious, try to check about them and connect with them on LinkedIn. So basically, that's why I try to when I see people, I try to read about them and what they are doing, and from there I get to know about some of these things. And then when you probably get some of the opportunities, you meet new people and then you increase your network and then they can people sometimes people share things to me in my DM even a few years to like because of what they know that I'm interested in. So they might share it to me that I think you should apply for this, you can get this. And then those are some of the things that I've been able to leverage on and basically continue to do the wonderful work you are doing. So because some of those opportunities you get rejection, but you might later I got accepted for Yali using the same application that I've used before. So some of these things it doesn't require it. The other things that they consider when selecting people, and so if you don't even get selected, you just considering the things that you are doing that actually make sense, and then that will come as add-on later. I might even have to be choosing later.
Thank you so much for bringing us back to the point that rejection is part of the journey. Honestly, I've applied for yearly countless time and I never get it. I don't know why, but then I think rejection is part of the journey as well. You have to learn as young people to take in rejection as a learning opportunity. Okay, so we'll just take one last round question for all our panelists. Then we'll open the floor. So, Precious, Babatunde, Favor, if you would advise yourself, maybe looking back when you started, what one advice would you have given yourself, right? So let's start from Precious. I want to hear your voice again. What one advice would you give yourself as a young person, like looking back to your journey? Hi, is Precious still on the call? Can you hear me?
I was on mute.
Oh, awesome.
So you said one advice I'm gonna tell myself. I'm coming.
Yeah.
If I were to tell myself something, I will say to take it easy. Life is not hard. Yes. I will tell myself to take it easy. But at the same time, in as much as you take it easy, one thing I'm gonna pat myself on the back for will be uh like every single energy I've put into putting myself together, every single energy I have put into changing my name, changing my profile, changing the way people see me, and not making people see me based on my background or my foundation. I feel like I'm going to pat myself on the back for those ones, and I will still tell myself to do it over and over and over again. But in the process, I will tell myself to take it easy. Yes, because in as much as we want to like be in all of these places, you want to make sure you are good. I know I'm not 100% articulative right now, but yeah, you need to like take it easy, take it one step at a time, take it one step at a time. Yeah, I guess that's it. Sorry, I'm trying to quote somewhere so it's in my head. It's in my head. Yeah, I would tell
Okay,
myself to
okay.
take it easy, do things one step at a time, but I will
Mm-hmm.
do them over and over
Over
and over
again.
again. Because without all of these things I've done, I don't think I'll be right here today. I don't think you people will even invite me for this program in the first place. So yeah, I would say do it over and over again, but take this
Mm-hmm.
slowly, take this easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Like how will I call it? Is the process that matters at the end of the day. Is the process. You become in the process, right? So take it one step at a time, and put in every single energy you have, but don't be under pressure to become, right? And don't be, how will I call it? Because a lot of people mount a lot of pressure on themselves at the end of the day. But it would work out if you have a plan. It would actually work out, right? But at the same time, don't be too complacent. So I think there is like a thin line between not being too complacent and really putting energy into ensuring your goals are actualized. Let's go to Favor. Hi, Favor. Are you there?
Yes,
Or
I'm
maybe
here.
not.
I'm here.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, one advice I would tell myself, it's kind of hard, but I would say to take more risk. Yeah, I feel like if I've taken more risks, like everything in life is risky, but I feel like if I can bet more on myself, it's kind of hard to break out of that zone where you kind of doubt every move you make. But I think I should have taken more risks. Because I'm very, very young. I mean, I don't know, but even if I'm going to be 45 years tomorrow or 35 years, I think if I want to get something done, I'll still assume the mentality of being a young person. Because I think it kind of gives me more room to try and fail. And yeah, I think I will take more risk. And I also have to advise myself that comfort is overrated. Yeah, because it's easy to get somewhere and be like, oh, this is all I want. But I mean, there's a fine line between having insatiable needs and pushing for more. So I think that's what I will say. Take more risk. I feel like there are some opportunities that if I started earlier and maybe taking more risk, I would have been far, far better than where I am. And yeah, and also for me and to everyone here, I don't think you should set goals actually. Because you don't set goals, you set sacrifices. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest thing well, looking back, I will tell myself to set goals, take risk, and yeah, not to set goals actually, to set sacrifices. Um
Okay.
I don't set goals actually. Right now, I don't set goals. I set sacrifices. Yeah.
Wow,
So,
wow.
yeah.
I'm just hearing that. I'm hearing that thought process for the very first time. Awesome. We learn new things every day. Okay, so Favor said we should bet on ourselves and fail more. I think it's really important for young people to understand that. I think take risk so that you can fail early. It's important to actually fail early. There is time to recover. There's actually time to recover. So don't be too bothered about how perfect, your goals are coming up, how perfect the startup is going, raising funds and all. Take risk, fail, you learn and you're able to recover because you are still young. You have that um years ahead of you, right? And it's important that when you fail early, you learn. So by that time, you are not able to repeat the same mistakes you've made earlier on. Okay, so let's go to Babatunde. Then we take
Yeah,
questions from everybody.
for me, I think probably I'll follow some things people said. I think I will have probably done more in medical school. I think some things that I tried, but there were some
No,
things
you did
that
a lot. You did a lot that you won the provost award. No, you did a
there are
lot.
some things that I could have probably done, but I was scared because
Yeah,
medical
yeah,
school was demanding. So, for example,
yeah,
learning some new skills, especially hard skills, trying to be able to use some softwares, and then also going out for some getting some internship roles in some bigger companies. There's some of these
yeah.
things I was scared of doing them because of the demand of medical school and trying to the pressure. So I think probably I will have still explore them and will have been better. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Now you have the time, and I know those opportunities are coming. Those opportunities are definitely coming. Okay, so let's hear from our audience. I've spoken. I want every other person to really ask questions. We have like 10 minutes to take questions from everybody. Put in the chat session, or you can raise your hands, direct your questions to any of the speakers you found really interesting. Maybe there's something you want them to clarify on, or maybe something that is personal to you, maybe along your own journey that you find relatable. Please ask. They are here and they are young people, so we can relate. So let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Do we have questions in house? Okay, so I'm seeing a question in the chat session. I'm done with my undergraduate studies and I'm getting most of these exposures now. I feel bad considering you're not late. I know you're not late. Please, how do I get clarity on what I want to focus on? Everything looks so overwhelming. Do I still have opportunities? So who would like to take that? Precious, Favor. Who would like to take that? Is feeling overwhelmed? Like there are a lot of things. Where do I even start from? Do I still have the opportunity? I feel like maybe I'm lagging behind because I'm just starting late after my undergraduate studies.
Hi, can I?
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Hi, James. Thank you for that question. One thing, can we still hear me? I just plugged in my headset.
Yes, we can hear you, Precious.
Okay, this is to be brief, but I believe that each and every one of us on this call, we've had that time in our life when we feel like, oh, there is so much noise. It's very, very overwhelming. I can't differentiate between A and B. This is the part I want to. I don't even know the path. Let's start from there. I don't even know the path I want to follow. Every one of us must have been in that time. But I would say also the social media is not helping. The world is not helping. Everybody you see on the streets, especially when you attend all these conferences, they are doing A, they are doing B, they have amazing stuff going on for them. But trust me, not every some people are able to get it earlier on in their life. Some people will get it as early as 15, some as early as 17, if those are even early, even 12, right? But some of us, we won't even get it right until 25, until 27. It's fine. We each and every one of us in this world, we are not supposed to fit into just one box. There is, people say the world is your oyster. There is no limitation in a sense. We can get to a destination using different direction, like taking different road. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, right? Somebody can get there in 10 kilometers. Another person will get there in 20 kilometers, which is fine. It's okay. It's okay to feel like that, right? But I would say, in as much as it's okay, this is just to make sure you feel you feel calm. It's okay to be overwhelmed, but make sure you are just understand that you are not late to the game. There is still something for you to eat out of this pot of soup. Okay. So you said you are just getting this exposure now. I feel like you are doing the right thing. You are in the right place. The fact that you are even on this live stream shows that you are one step closer to where you are going. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. You are one step closer. That means you have the desire. You know this is where you want to be, and you have it. It's a focus. That's how everybody started the same way, right? So I would say it's okay, but keep exploring in your own ways. You are not late. Keep exploring. All of the advice people have shared on this call, try and emulate them, incorporate them into your day-to-day work. If it's about networking, network. If it's about going for conferences, go for conferences. You don't even know if that's where you are going to find a mentor who will eventually guide you, right? The word can be very funny. It will get cloudy and you think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. But trust me, you are one step closer. You are one step closer. So I would say, I don't want to sound like a motivational speaker, but keep doing what you are doing. That's what I'm going to say. Keep doing what you are doing. All of the advice we've shared on this call, incorporate them, do them daily. You still have opportunities. People wake up every day. Where I currently study, Jeff degree program. I don't know why people don't know about this program, and it's one of the best program anybody can be doing as an undergraduate. This program is the best, but people don't know about it. I tried evangelizing it. People from Africa, they applied and they still did not get in, right? This is one opportunity I've just mentioned. There are 1,000 other opportunities like that, right? But there is a limitation if you are not exposed. Your exposure determine how much information you will get, if that makes sense, right? So I would say keep trying to be exposed, keep using your platforms, keep searching for information, and I'm very sure you are going to get it one day. Not even one day, soon. Okay, James, that's it.
Absolutely. And just to add to it, that it is when you wake up that is your own morning. Nobody is late. It is when you wake up that is your morning. And now that you are here on this call, I think it's the very best step, best direction. There are many people on the call already sharing their LinkedIn. Connect with them. We have a student network. Join our community. Join communities. You get access to information that will help you, right? So let me not buttress. Precious has really done good justice to that question. Let's take Bolo Atife. Bolo Atife, please ask your question very direct, concise, because try to keep up to time now.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for this wonderful webinar, and thank you to the speakers. My question will be directed towards Precious now. Like, in all the opportunities that you've been getting and all the jobs, is there any time that you face a difficulty in maybe you don't have a computer science degree, considering a medical background? Like, was there a time maybe you didn't get an opportunity or you didn't get a job due to maybe they said, oh, probably you didn't have a computer science degree, you didn't have a computer science background? That's my question.
Okay, thanks, Bolu Atife. To the question, there was actually not a direct scenario where people will tell me, oh, get away, we can't give you this thing because you don't have a CS degree. But it was, I had to sit down and look at my rejections. For example, I said briefly that I wanted to get into Google, and then Google, I did not pass my Google interviews. And after the interview, I sat down. I was like, oh my God, assuming I knew breadth first search, assuming I knew this algorithm, sorting algorithms, I feel like I would have done better. So it was more of me sitting down and realizing, oh, there are gaps I need to fill up. But I didn't have any scenario where somebody would be like, oh, come on, we only need people with CS degrees, probably because of the limitations of like applications and everything. But honestly speaking, no one has ever told me we can't accept you. And this comes to the aspect of you building a very solid profile. In most of the projects I've worked on, I don't just work on projects because others are doing it or because an hackathon recommended it or because I saw a YouTube video that did the thing step by step. I sat down and then came up with the project ideas myself, and then I implemented them. So, and the way I showed this project on my resume and everything, if you read it, you'll be like, in as much as this girl is lacking in this aspect of computer science, I think she's going to get the job done. So I feel like that's what has been working for me. People believe outrightly that, okay, this girl has what it takes to get the job done. So they don't actually like consider the limitation. But me studying computer science was something I decided to do myself. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just to add to that too, I don't think lack of having a degree should stop you from pursuing any opportunity that you might need. I've always wanted to work with the Africa CDC for the longest time, and I've always thought I need a master's in health informatics to do it, right? But I was able to get, based on what I've been able to do in my own little capacity, that I've been able to do well. They recognize it and they see that, oh, this girl can perform, right? I was never asked for any master's degree, right? Even for the current project I'm working on. So don't let that limit your search for opportunities. Shoot your shots, as we say in Nigeria. Shoot your shots and package what you've done. Package it to the best of your ability, right? Okay, so let's take the next question. That should be on the chat session. That how do you face procrastination habits? That's from Patrick. How do you fight it? What can you advise on this issue? So maybe Favor can take that, or Babatunde.
Okay. Should I go ahead? Okay.
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, I think this question is kind of my life when I started Mashesi. So it's like that was back in 2021, 2022. I had always wanted to do startups. And each time I come up with the plan, with the idea and everything, I'll be like, nah, I have to drop it and maybe go look for maybe an internship, go look for something else to do to raise the fund and everything. But one thing that have helped me is that I have to run my ideas through my roommates. And funny enough, I run my idea through someone that wants to that has been doing what I'm doing. I mean, there are so many amazing students in here at Ashesi, and one of the ways I've come to overcome it is to I've seen that this person is doing a startup while in school. I admire this person, and I go back to the person and be like, this is what I'm doing. This is what is wrong with me, and this is why I'm not starting. And I one of the ways I kind of conquered it is to take one task per day. And I mean, some people will be like, start with the easy task and then go to the hard task. But I found out that it doesn't work that way, because when you start with the easy task first, you tend to give up before you get to the hard task. So I feel like you kind of have to flip the script and you start with the hard task. So dealing with procrastination is hard, but I think one of the best ways to break out is not just not don't share your idea or what you want to do with people that you know that they don't have anything to contribute to where you are going to. Now, because they will always ask they will always have to ask you why are you doing this? Like they always try to point out the limitations that you are going to face. They won't tend to see the bright side. So don't run your ideas through people that don't have the same tenacity of mind that you want to possess, that you want to get for you to get somewhere else. That is one. Then two, I feel like then the better way that I broke out is trying to write a lot. And another way procrastination builds up is when you consume a lot of information and you don't know where to start, you don't know how to begin. I feel like that's the process that I've passed through. I don't know if it's going to apply to you too, but I think it's a pattern from most books I've read and from asking for help. We consume a lot of information that we don't know how to distill them, and it makes us like, okay, I will do it. This person said this. So you hear a lot of advice from different people, mentors, advisors, friends, and everything. And it instead of helping you is weighing you down. So I feel like the best way to do so is write it down. Write it down, like write it down, and every day, I don't know, but you have to like go up, look at that paper or where you've written something you are meant to do. And a day commit, I feel like you have to commit to the hard task first, because the easy task once you start with the easy ones, you'll be like, yes, I will do it. Or is it not to do maybe the sum of all numbers? You just, oh, that's is sum is easy. You can just brush through it. But once you start with the hard task, it kind of rewires your mindset that you have to find a solution to this problem. You have to find a solution to complete this task. And I feel like that's a better way to break out of like that procrastination.
Awesome, awesome. Does Babatunde, do you want to like add to that? Then maybe Precious will add to that too. I think to be helpful.
I think I agree with him. I agree with him. I don't have anything to add.
All right, what about Precious? How are you able to deal with procrastination?
He said it all honestly, just discipline. Yeah.
All right, amazing.
Yeah.
Discipline, it's the frog, discipline, and it's the frog. Don't try to don't be delusional. You do the soft ones. Then you leave the hard task. You keep procrastinating on the hard one. I think it's the frog. Do the hard task first, right? Put in your energy, and I think you should understand yourself. If morning works for you, if night, most of our speakers said they work at night. Where if you're like the night crawler, if night works for you, you can push some of your tasks to night. Or if you want to wake up very early to, you know, to really attack those tasks. So I think you should understand yourself. Self-awareness is very important. What are the things that's making you procrastinate? Is it lack of discipline? Is it lack of accountability partner? Is it time management? Right? So procrastination can be because of different things. Is it because you are scared? Sometimes we procrastinate because we're actually scared of doing the task. A lot of times when I procrastinate on opportunities to apply, it's because like, oh more, this opportunity is hard, then I start procrastinating, right? So I think you have to be self-aware. What is actually making you procrastinate, right? So I think once you figure that out, have an accountability partner, someone to say, you know what, I need to apply for this opportunity by next week. Hold me accountable, and the person, as Favor has said, they have the same tenacity of mind as you have. They can check up. They can check up on you to say, how is it going? Have you done it? I have somebody on my neck at the moment on an application I'm supposed to do, right? So it helps me to be disciplined and to work on things I need to work on part time. So accountability partner and be self-aware. What is making you procrastinate? Identify it and talk to somebody who can help you figure those things out. All right. I think we've taken a lot of time. Can we take one more question, panelists?
I am
Can we
to
take one
leave
more
30. So
Oh.
anytime before 1:30 works for me.
Okay. So this is directed to Babatunde, asking how you're able to publish your first paper, or can you give a brief on how you came about your first research paper from topic selection to publication? I think that's a whole topic, but if Babatunde could quickly help us concisely answer that.
What's the question? Sorry.
How were you able to come up with your first research paper from topic selection to publication? I don't know if you remember your first research paper, but if you do, or generally, how are you able
My,
to
my,
come up
my first research paper was not published, so let me
with
just say.
So how do
I
you come
think
up with topic selection to publication? I think that's like the meat of the question.
yeah, I think for my research I started with writing commentaries and short opinions, not really primary research. So what we did was to write about things that were kind of new and people have not really discussed, uh, but were very important. For instance, the first one I think was a lot of people were talking about telemedicine then. So what we tried to write about was that it's like a question like is telemedicine bridging or widening inequality gap. So we try to talk about like argue both sides about how telemedicine might actually be increasing inequality with some certain things we're not put in place, and then we make some recommendations. I think that was one of my first papers, and then um, also we wrote about how people have been training a lot of quacks and it's really affecting the healthcare. So we talk about how what are the things that are causing people to think quacks and then the consequences. And then we wrote some recommendation on how to reduce quackery in healthcare. So I think those are our early papers. I don't know if that helps. Just being curious and trying to talk about something that people might not have thought about. Then before moving to doing researches that take like a year and long time.
Okay. Thank you so much for this. I think number one, curiosity and your areas of interest to also matters, right? And being curious to like want to really find out maybe questions that you have about that particular area of interest would help you in terms of topic selection and the likes. You can reach out to them. I think speakers, please drop your LinkedIn and every other thing on the chat session so they can reach out to you. We are closing now. Thank you so much, Babatunde. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Precious, for the wonderful insights you've been able to share with us, reflecting on your stories, on your journey, and really giving us those gems that can help all our participants on the call today. And to our participants, I would say the road ahead, won't always be smooth, right? We all had it rough when we started, but in those moments of trying to figure things out is where you most likely actually discover your true strength. So I think you should embrace every opportunity that comes your way to learn, to grow, and to contribute. One thing that has stood out here is to surround yourself with mentors, peers, and communities that have the same tenacity, that are going where you are going, right? And most importantly, believe in your ability to make a difference as a young African, right? These are young Africans who are making difference in their own various ways, right? So you too can do it. They've shown you possibilities. So things are possible, right? All these things are really possible. And it's possible to make all of this impact beyond the classroom, which is the core of the webinar series, beyond the classroom. You can shape the future of Africa. Thank you so much, everybody. Further questions can be directed to our individual speakers on the call. They've shared their, LinkedIn. Please connect with them and ask them questions. We can't take everybody now because of time. You can go back to the YouTube channel and listen again and again so you can remember all these things that were said. Reach out to us at Digital Health Africa. If you're a young person interested in digital health, we have a community. We are coming to campuses near you very soon so that we can really bring everybody together and continue to empower young people. Thank you so much. Let's enjoy the rest of our weekend. Bye and see you on the next series. Thank you.